Mom doing?
She is great. Hey, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's me, Tanisha. Oh, look who I got, this great special guest. Desmond is here with us, and he's going to tell us how we can fire the devil as our life coach today. You may not have hired him, but you know what? Just tune in for a friend. Just for a friend. Even if it's not you, just for a friend. Thank you, Desmond, for hanging out with us today.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Tanisha. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay.
We have a super special guest. Just type in to let me know that you can hear Desmond. Today, he is helping us learn how we can fire the devil. Oh, wrong book. How we can fire the devil as our life coach. They're both yellow and red. You see, like we had something going on. So, hey, guys. Hey, Natalie from New Jersey. Hey. Thank you for your compliment, doll. Thank you. So here we go. I'm Tanisha O. I am the empowered stepmother. And you know what? During my journey in my blended family, I just went through so much pain and chaos. And I was thinking there has to be something for us that's positive and uplifting. And since I didn't find anything that I was looking for, I decided to create something. So we are in the process of creating a movement to empower stepmothers to grow, glow, and thrive harmoniously in our blended family. So if you're in a blended family, join our movement. We have so much to offer the world. We get to define who we are in our society. I'm also a life coach. So if you are in a blended family and you're looking for coaching for yourself, or you want to just heal that relationship with your husband, or maybe with the biological mom or your stepchildren, reach out to me. I have plenty of content. You can see exactly who I am and what I'm about. But for tonight, the spotlight is 100% on Mr. Desmond Antonio Blackburn, and he's going to get us together and help us change our mindset on how to fire the devil as your life coach. I know you probably didn't even hire him, but just tune in for a friend. That's all I'm saying. Tune in for a friend. So, hey, let's get it, Desmond. What you got for us, family?
Well, listen, guys, I'm just so very excited. This is a subject that I'm actually very passionate about. Overall, and this is all from lifelong church folk out there. And I mean, a lot of us basically have been raised, died in the wood, whether you are Methodist, Kojic, Baptist, matter of fact, whatever. And also, we've seen some really weird stuff coming up as in the church, and for better or for worse, and all stuff that has really framed us, and in many cases, a very, very good way. But overall, one of the things that I noticed started seeping in is basically this notion that, quote unquote, we start putting a lot of stuff on the big bad devil. Now, mind you, this is not going to be any heretic stuff I'm sharing you today. He is very real. We all know that as far as that's concerned. But we're giving him way too much credit for basically our lack of discipline.
Right. Exactly. And it's all on us.
It's a matter of fact, and as I'm getting older, I'm starting to realize, hold on a second, the big bad devil and all stuff basically has been promoted and marketed, unfortunately, indirectly by the body of Christ to go ahead and basically now be kind of basically our default.
Right.
Or when things don't go right, it's not our fault, it's
the devil.
Else.
Exactly.
And what we don't realize is that for the moment, we're thinking that we're, quote unquote, putting the blame from one side to the other. But what we don't realize, we're actually disempowering ourselves.
Absolutely. 100%.
So this is why the reason why, matter of fact, I went to basically how to fight the devil as a life coach, a little bit of basic background on myself. For a number of years, I found myself literally just stuck in a rut. And so much so to where all of a sudden nothing was working. Love life was in the pooper on that. Matter of fact, finances, career, and nothing was working. And all the while my life was in this major disaster, I'm living with 6 other Christian men. Ooh, I'm attending church 4 to 5 days a week. I'm ministering to the homeless, to matter of fact, kids of the kingdom. I'm in Christian plays. I'm doing stand-up comedy. I couldn't get more saved if I tried. Okay, part of fasting teams, whatever. But in the midst of all this, I am failing on every metric known to man. And I'm trying to figure out what is not like the other. And the one thing I started noticing is that as I started breaking this thing down, after I got a chance to get before God on a weekend, a friend of mine was basically house sitting. I decided to say, God, I'm going to have it out. And what transpired after that was 48 hours of God basically bringing to me a strategic breakdown of everything that I was doing to get in my own way.
Right. Not the devil, you.
No. I had met the devil, and it is I. And I think that's basically where people need to go ahead and get started. So a lot of great stuff there. A lot of great stuff indeed.
I love it. I think that we should totally dig in, because you and I were chatting before about accountability. And so frequently, my girlfriend and I, Nia, we have this, it's a joke, but there's always truth in the joke, where we talk about, you'll say, oh, I'm late. And then you say, oh, the devil has all this traffic. The devil's trying to slow me down. But the reality is you forgot that you hit snooze on the alarm clock 10 times. You decided to answer 25 emails before you left the house. You did all these things, and now you're late. And instead of being responsible and accountable for all of the actions that transpired prior to, you blame it on the devil.
Exactly.
So that's a typical day in the life of, you know what I mean? That's the truth.
Right. And it's amazing because this concept really is not new. And a lot of people say, okay, get it. We got a lot of nodding heads out there saying, yeah, totally get it. Totally get it. But what are some of the things that basically we're doing on an unconscious level to find ourselves in that place to where we're basically not being accountable to ourselves and our action and all stuff? And we're talking offline. So basically when folks go into that, we go over 15 different steps or different things that we do and all stuff that I basically have pointed out in the book. The one thing I pointed out first and foremost is we got to acknowledge the bad code. And what I mean by that is the fact that every one of us have grown up, whether you're around the kitchen table in regards to you're hearing conversations, you don't think it's affecting you. Okay. And we heard the good stuff, early bird gets the worm, if I take care of the pennies and the dollars will take care of themselves. And also God don't like ugly. We've heard a lot of these different things going on here. And what we don't realize is that those type of mentalities have come in here. In the book, I basically outline a story from which, a young lady graduates, first one to graduate college in her entire family, that gets a degree, I think, in economics or finances, that now gets hired to an amazing firm, makes six figures, more than she's ever made before, and their entire family has ever made before.
Wow.
Now it comes to time where everybody's sitting around together. The co-workers are talking about their 401k plans and different ways of investment on that. And while they're basically doing the needful to go ahead and expand their wealth, she decides that she's not going to go ahead and do it.
Oh.
Why? Why? Yeah. That's what rich people do. Hold on a second. College educated.
Yes.
First in the family, obviously smart. What happened? Bad code. Yeah. She heard that stuff. Matter of fact, you can be rich, but you ain't happy. So what we need to go ahead and again, a lot of you or your viewers can probably think about so many different things that have come up through the years and now kind of seeped in. So by us realizing that there is a bit of a dampening going on, I encourage individuals to stretch in terms of basically, let's go ahead and start, particularly when I'm coaching folks, to go ahead and start looking at what is that voice in your head saying?
And, even things like you have to work hard for money. Money doesn't grow on trees. All of these things are things that we're taught. Sure. And it literally tells us how we are going to attract and bring in money. Because the bottom line is, look at the people on Instagram or who have become famous from these random things. They were more focused on their vision to do their craft, whether it was art or dancing or singing, than they were on what they didn't have. They were just completely focused on what they wanted. And how we communicate with money is critical. So whether we're I don't know if you saw that video that I just did on, do you want to be a pensioner? You see that?
That sounds amazing.
I know those are words. I'm not confused. Or do you want to be a millionaire or billionaire? And even for the people who are at the billionaire status,
sure,
they might be obviously they're definitely trying to get to the next level. And there's something in their mindset that is stopping them from going from millionaire to billionaire. Something they're going to need to shift and shake. And believe me, they're working on that. So some people think, oh, it's easy. You're already a millionaire. It's easy. No, they have goals too. They've worked to get to where they are, and they're now leveling up. You just keep leveling up. So I love what you're talking about. It's so true. So,
As a man thinketh, so is he.
so is he.
So,
Absolutely.
so you're seeing that situation going on there. So again, the one thing that we want to get individuals to start realizing, what's the bad code that I've had in my heart and in my mind for so many different years? And then first of all, put it out there. Mm-hmm. One of the things we talk about in the book oftentimes is basically practicing something called extreme accountability. Now, this is going to sound weird, particularly in an environment from which everybody is so risk averse and it's not my fault. Don't blame me.
Right.
But let me tell you something right now that's going to cause us to go ahead and operate in much more power. Take responsibility for everything.
Yes.
And yeah. And I'm saying right now,
like whatever it is, you got in an argument with your husband, it's your fault.
Yeah.
And it's true. I know there's a story, but normally when you hear a story, Desmond, have you ever noticed it's like that? It's like a song. It's their fault because, and after someone says this happened because, I never hear them talking about themselves after the because. It's always an entire story, and it might be a good one, about why it was someone else, you know, and we're not even talking about car accidents and things. No, I'm talking about other things, just things that you have in your control. And a lot of what happens in our day-to-day lives, guys, let's just be fair. We are in control of them. These conversations we have, the coworker who pissed you off, whatever the case may be. So I love where you're going. Like you hit something in me because I'm so big on accountability. I love it.
It's something because it's so counterintuitive to where everybody, but think about how empowering that is. Because what ends up happening when you start saying something such as it is my fault, now the focus switches on, okay, what can I do? Natural questions start coming up.
Yes.
What could I have done better? What could I have said? What could I have done? And listen, I don't know about you, but I really suck at trying to control other people.
Oh yeah, I stopped trying. I gave that up.
Okay, so I'm horrible at it. But the cool thing is the fact that I can go ahead and control myself, if not for the present, but in the future. And for Christians in particular, when we make the decision to find out to start saying, listen, why is my marriage not prospering?
Right.
I am a Christian. I know the word. Why are we not walking in more love? Now, that's a different question that leads to another more productive answers as opposed to, it must have been the devil. The Lord brought him. I got deceived. And seriously, how can we grow from that? So these are the productive things that folks can go ahead and do. I want to give your listeners and the people who are watching here and also some actual steps. The other second one I'll go ahead and give. And again, this is out of 15. I got a chapter in there called Not Enough. Okay. And in that chapter, what I'm basically outlining is the fact that in many cases, Christians aren't doing the wrong thing. They're just not doing enough of it.
Hey, that's the truth. And you know what? They're not doing enough of it. You know, there's something that I read. I'm a bookworm. I think both of us are. Like I'm always reading something. And I recently read something that says for every negative thought we speak, it takes 10 words of gratitude or appreciation to counter that out.
Absolutely.
So when we speak of Christianity, I feel as though, and this is unfortunate. It's unfortunate because it's why a lot of people don't go to church and all these things. But we as Christians spend more time judging everything someone else is not doing rather than focusing on ourselves. I'm tell you the truth. In all honesty, I'm less likely to get judged going to the club with my outfit and whatever it is I have on than I am when I'm going to church. I'm serious.
Sure.
You see those shoes?
Sure.
You see that? She knows it's not spring. She got those flowers on out. Like it's just not that. Did you see her? Oh my God. It's just Christians. Let's do one thing. Let people live.
Yeah.
Let them live.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to do. You know, if my kids didn't teach me anything else, it's like the slang that the young adults say. Let people live. No problem. Live. But it shouldn't be that way. I shouldn't feel that there's less judgment at a club. Not that I'm even in a club. But I know when you go to the club, think about it. They're like, hey, girl, you look a hot mess. But I tell you what, your pump squad is there to tell you, yes, girl, you got it. And we don't do that in church. We don't. And so if we focused on the positive, we would get more of it.
Right. And the fact of the matter is the one thing, And one of the biggest advantages of basically operating that level of extreme accountability is the fact that you're already taking into consideration that that's the kind of reaction you're going to go ahead and get, whether it's in the church or outside. If I'm already anticipating that there's going to be an enemy at the door, my strategy is a lot different.
Right.
I don't go out butt naked on that. I've got my sword, I got my armor, I've got my mentality going on and all stuff, as opposed to, oh my gosh, can you believe what she said? Well, hold on a second. What would extreme accountability have done if I did here as a Christian? Well, I'm going to go ahead and get up at 4 o'clock in the morning like you, Tanisha.
Exactly.
And go ahead and get my mind right.
Right.
To where when I basically go out, I literally cannot even hear the insults.
Yeah.
That's what extreme. That's what extreme. Yes.
So yes, like people say things and do things. Even now, as an empowered stepmother, people are always like, "Oh, you act like it's perfect." I didn't say it's perfect. As a matter of fact, I always say, Desmond, I don't even know if Danielle changed. She might be the exact same, but because I changed, I've changed the way I view the situation. I don't see it the same way. So whatever's happening, not impacting me. So I just keep it moving. I love that. Please say that again. Oh, I love what you just said.
I mean, this level of extreme accountability that we're having here and all stuff really is the secret sauce to pretty much everything going on here, but particularly as Christians, because listen, God is our superpower. We got the Holy Spirit, we got the word. It's almost basically an embarrassment, to be quite frank with you, for us to be sitting on all that we have: healing, hope, joy, favor.
Yes.
And I mean, it's literally as if I'm walking into a potential hot zone of violence. I got every weapon known to mankind, and I'm literally walking in there and not pulling the trigger one time, and I'm taking all the hits.
Yes.
Unnecessary.
Absolutely.
Unnecessary. So when we start talking about in terms of not doing enough of it, the word of God says, ask and keep on asking, seek and keep on seeking, knock and keep on knocking. The hand of the diligent always tend to plenty.
Absolutely.
So there's never been that. So in many cases, what ends up happening, well, I gave one time and it didn't work. Hold on a second. Keep going. Keep praying. Keep asking. Keep seeking. Keep giving. And most of all, and this is another thing I'm going to share with you guys as well as one of the tips. And this is the reasons why, guys, again, for those of you tuning in and all stuff, matter of fact, the book is called How to Fight the Devil as Your Life Coach. Why Christians Fail and How to Stop. And as we've been talking about here as well, in terms of the level of extreme accountability, I'm going to go ahead and give you, and again, this 15, I'm going to give you 3. We've been talking about 3 of them. Fail to worship. Now, and let me go ahead and put it this way, that God loves preferential treatment.
Yes.
He loves the VIP treatment. For years, I was sharing with you earlier offline, I have given tithes and offerings. A lot of people can relate to what I'm going to say. And it's like as though for the more tithes and offerings I was giving, I was going broke. Baroque as a joke in the name of Jesus.
Hey, and people say it with pride. They say it with pride.
I was like going broke in the name of Jesus. I had 10 times the spirituality and 5 times the lack.
Ooh, 10 times.
10 times the spirituality and 5 times the lack.
The spirituality and 5 times the lack.
And one of the main things that was basically a breakthrough was in regards to this. The word of God says, when I bring my offerings, matter of fact, I'm going to give him the first fruits of all my increase. What I was doing was thinking that if I just put anything in the offering bucket, I'm good. My attitude of how I was giving it wasn't there. And forget about it. It wasn't even a form of worship. And then when I started studying his process and procedures.
Yes.
What ends up happening is the fact that the reason why we're failing as Christians, because we kind of take a very, very limp, laissez-faire, in regards to when God says something, he don't really mean all that.
We take what we want and leave the rest. Only when it's applicable to us, that's the part. But we don't want to deal with it, don't want to handle it, not that part.
Right.
Yeah. And that's probably the part we need the most, the part we push over.
So I started noticing that when I started changing up and started now worshiping the Lord, my tithes and offerings, as everybody that I knew that was successful doing it was doing. What I saw in the word was doing, giving him the first fruits, and with an attitude that wasn't just simply here or worship. Here was something that I did. I'm not saying anybody else does this. I did this. I paid him after I paid everybody else.
Right. That wasn't
So
first fruits.
he was last fruits. In
Yes.
fact, he was sloppy seconds.
Sloppy seconds, yet you wanted the reward of the first fruits because you still gave.
So Christian, man of God, living with 6 people, 6 other Christians and all stuff, going to church 4 or 5 days a week, failing and broke as a joke, trying to figure out what's going on. That's the reason. So extreme accountability gets you to go ahead and see, okay, Lord, what am I doing? The devil really isn't a factor here.
You setting somebody free today, and I'm really glad I have you on the show. I'm so glad you are setting somebody free, because I'm gonna tell you what, Amir, I'm gonna post this up here. Amir said, I fired the devil and I'm hiring you and Des both. Hey, it looks like you want to reach out to Amir. I know you know him. That's why I'm saying it. You are setting somebody free. So that's our first step. What do we have for our second one? I love that. Oh, boy.
It's amazing. It's amazing. One of the things we talked about here is, stop casting spells. This literally happened to me. Here I am. I'm praying. In fact, I was standing for my wife, and it was during that era in Christian history. For those in the Pentecostal movement, you guys remember this era in the 80s called Name It and Claim It. It jacked up more black folk than Jerry curls. Let me tell you right now. So it was name it and claim it. So we're going to go ahead and just take a whole bunch of scriptures, and we're going to go ahead and basically design what we want. And God is compelled to have to go ahead and move and give you something. And basically, we were now indirectly, I don't think this was on purpose, basically took on an attitude that we can go ahead and hack into God's grace. Regardless of our accountability, our character, and how we're on the inside. So I did the exact same thing. So I was standing behind my wife, was not ready, wanted to go ahead and, why aren't we married? Why aren't we married? And all stuff, whining, complaining. And I guess God had enough. So he spoke in my spirit and says, you are as a witch casting spells. Ooh. That's what witchcraft does. Yes. Witchcraft is basically a backdoor, our equivalent to today's vernacular, hacking into trying to go ahead and get God's grace and or favor, albeit legally.
What do you do with that? What do you do when God speaks? Not even the person, that's giving their opinion, because you can kind of brush them off and say, you don't know. But when in your spirit, when God speaks to you, what do you do with that?
You can't do nothing but repent and go ahead and change and really start taking a look. And so hold on a second. I'm speaking scriptures.
Right.
If somebody was outside of the garage that I was in that was used as my prayer closet, you would think that Desmond is the most holiest of holy.
Hey, yeah.
Speaking scriptures. We all doing we do all that kind of stuff.
Yes, I know it. Absolutely.
And as far as God is seeing, I am as a witch casting spells to hack into something that I am not either allowed to have at this moment. And most important, I want more of that, and I don't want any of him. And for a lot of us, the reason why Christians are failing is because simply our heart is not seeking. We're seeking his hand and not his face, as the word of God says.
That's powerful.
You call me Lord, Lord, but not do the things that I say.
Right.
So on the outward appearance, everybody is saying Desmond is the bomb.com when it comes to Christianity. But on the inside, I was a dead man 15 times over. So what started happening was, again, here's back to that extreme accountability. Lord, I repent. Yes. What do I need to go ahead and do and change? And as soon as we basically started getting it together, the Lord started opening up doors in terms of basically started revealing areas of unforgiveness. Another huge.
That's so huge.
Another huge reason. In fact, I would dare venture to go ahead and say this. If a person is walking in unforgiveness right now, marriage isn't going to work. Finances aren't going to work. Nothing you want that's measurable will ever work.
And the very first person to forgive is yourself.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So audience, take a moment as you soak in these amazing nuggets from Desmond, but take a moment to forgive yourself. Pause this video, write out a list of the things, whether it was the job, whether it was getting pregnant when you were a child, whether it was a drug addiction, whether it was alcohol, whether it was because you were a parent and you weren't there for your children, an abortion, whatever it is, you quit the job, you didn't provide, you feel guilty because the electricity or the gas was shut off, you feel guilty because your house went into foreclosure, you feel guilty for marrying that man and your children didn't like him and so they stopped speaking to you. Whatever it is, forgive yourself.
Absolutely.
Everything that happens in our life, you guys, is a lesson, not a life sentence. It was a lesson.
That's good.
Learn that lesson, but forgive yourself first, because when we forgive ourselves, we need the grace to forgive ourselves in order to forgive anyone else. We cannot love anyone else more than we love ourselves. I know you think you can love your children more than you love yourself, but you can't. You got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first, and then you save everyone else. Do yourself a favor. Give yourself the gift of forgiveness. That forgiveness changed. I'm actually looking. Here it is. This book right here transformed my life. Before we go to the next one, Ayala Van Zandt.
Yep.
There it is. Forgiveness, 21 days to forgive everyone for everything. Transformed my life. It's the reason why I empowered stepmothers here, all these things. So that thing hit me in my core. So now, Desmond, that something just struck me in that. Just take a moment to forgive yourself. You know,
we're talking a lot about a lot of stuff here today, but I can tell you right now one of the things that happened during that 48 hours, and I want to go ahead and share this real quick. When people oftentimes think, particularly Christians, in regards to getting delivered, they're thinking a long, long process. I was delivered in 48 hours.
You see that? 48.
I was literally transformed when I started yielding. 48 hours. In some cases, it could have been less. Who knows?
Immediate. Exactly.
But where he needed to go and get, I got it in 48 hours. The Lord actually changed my heart. Now, here's a situation. Number one reason why Christians fail, because Christians, and again, thinking about bad code, we were raised in church when we knew that this sister is now mad at the mother in the church, or matter of fact, or we got pastors that aren't talking to deacons, and we saw this and we said this must be okay.
Right.
Okay, so we now took that.
My marriage, okay, in my life, in my family, absolutely.
Exactly. And we said to ourselves, well, this is okay because everybody that I know that is righteous does this.
Right.
And what we don't realize, we're literally cutting ourselves, and keep in mind, matter of fact, operative word is cutting ourselves off at the knees. Right. I love the old saying that forgiveness is like drinking poison and expecting someone else to die.
Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? You know, I always tell Ike, don't let people live rent free in your life, because you're harboring anger. You're letting them live rent free in your heart. Meanwhile, they're on enjoying themselves and you sitting back miserable.
Absolutely.
Yes,
absolutely.
I love that.
Yeah. So girl, this is what I'm doing. And also overall, this has been a testimony in regards to how I got free. And I'm on a mission to go ahead and basically help individuals start understanding this isn't a spiritual thing as much as you would think.
Yes.
And also, this is actually a decision thing.
Correct.
This is a decision thing. So I'm going to go ahead and decide that I'm going to go ahead and start being accountable. And again, the beautiful thing about questions is that when you start asking right questions, other questions start coming up.
Absolutely.
And it will lead you in the right place. I love it. I love this. And when you start talking about, am I in forgiveness? Yes, I am. Why am I not forgiving that person? What did I do? Hold on a second. I can't remember. Should I be keeping it? I don't know. Should you?
Yeah, probably not. Let it go. I love this. Desmond, I have to have you back on my show for sure.
More than happy. Fun.
Let them know where they can find you. You guys, look, how to fire the devil as your life coach. Amir already said he's hiring you as his coach, and other people may want this level of work. You guys, if you're looking for coaching, you're stuck. You're looking for someone to support you in your journey, especially, within the church, and you're frustrated, you're tired of being broke, or whatever the story is that you have. Listen, Desmond, that's who you want. You want this guy right here.
I'm trying to tell you.
To get you on point, get you all the way together. So tell them how to find you. And definitely, guys, please find him on Facebook. Desmond Antonio Blackburn. Follow him because he has some amazing, like, is it daily? Do you do your
daily, almost daily? Like I said, and thanks to you, your 30-day Facebook challenge that we're getting back on the good foot. Thank you for doing that as well. Again, iron sharpening iron. But yeah, we got some amazing videos on that as far as that's concerned. Just basically in terms of just, it's called Power Moves each and every day. And again, it's a Facebook coaching session is what we really have branded to go ahead and be. In fact, speaking of which, when you go on barnesnoble.com and also if you go to Amazon, however, if you go directly to my website at layoffproof.com, not only will you get a book, but you'll also get, and this is what I'm doing for every person who purchases the book, because again, this isn't just a cool title, it's actually what we do. One thing I love about this is the fact that we're actually providing free coaching.
You hear that?
Everybody will get a free coaching session going on here, because one of the realities is, okay, great, I've acknowledged my problem, and I start realizing it's a little bit too heavy for me to carry.
Yeah.
I need some technical assistance. I have a family. I'm in a blended family. I need to go ahead and talk to Tanisha. Because I recognize I'm going to have drama and I don't know how to do that. And this whole notion of I think I'll figure it out is for the birds.
Yeah, it's save yourself a lot of pain.
It's for the birds. So when you go to my website at layoffproof.com, you can order directly on there as well. Not only will you get a signed copy from me, but you will also be able to go ahead and sign up for a free coaching session. My gift to you, want to go ahead and provide you value going on here as well. And that way you guys can go ahead and see what it's like to go ahead and get, at the end of the book, we're talking about get help.
Yes.
How the world is Black folk.
That's a whole seminar by itself.
Let me tell you about for all my beautiful brown people out there, Hispanic,
and I love us,
American, and also for some of the white folk out there, I love y'all.
Yes.
Also, let me give you some insight on my Black folk. Black folk are good about saying, I don't want nobody to know my business. Yeah. We could be drowning. We come in a boat, throw you a life preserver, and say, get Tim, he's drowning. And then Tim shouts from the water saying, I don't want nobody to know my business. Oh, you drowning.
And he's going to drown.
Get help. And I love this season that we're in regards to coaching, because people are now reducing the amount of suffering from years to sometimes days and weeks because they're getting assistance. Jesus hired 12 disciples.
Yeah, they were with him.
He needed help. He needed help. You do as well. So again, I wanted to go ahead and get folks really used to this idea of doing that. That's why I wanted to go ahead and provide this to you. So again, thank you so much, Tanisha. Again, Barnes Noble at Amazon.com and all stuff as well. Message me, let me know overall, and we'll set you up with a free coaching session. In fact, you can go online and actually schedule a time that works for you. Yeah, so my gosh.
You guys support this brother. I'm telling you, I love the book. I read it probably in a day. I just love reading. So if you have any books that you want me to read, let me know. I tend to always talk about them anyway. Great book, Desmond. Amazing job. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I can't thank you enough. Keep doing what you're doing. You're doing an amazing job. To all of the empowered step people out there, stepmothers, stepfathers, you know what? Stepmothers, let's continue this journey as we empower people to grow, glow, and thrive harmoniously in our blended family. From our family to yours, we love you, and we'll talk to you soon. Ciao.
Take care. Bye-bye.